Entrepreneurship for me is building an organization, you know, that fits into something that you want to do. Be it a business or be it starting a school. It just need not be built on economics of this thing. It can be a social enterprise. People have started NGOs. People have started schools. So it's ideally something, giving a shape to some of your ideas which fit into your values. See, my father works for a fertilizer company. He's an MCOM, so got into materials department of fertilizer company. My organization is Organic Express is the brand. Oryx Health Foods were created to promote organic foods. More in a bigger this thing. It was trying to promote a self-sustainable lifestyle. What Organic Express is trying to do is promote organic ingredients in the ready-to-eat format. When I say ready-to-eat format, we are talking about ready-to-serve food. We use organic and natural ingredients to make food, and we have our own kiosks and other sales channels, B2B and everything, where we sell this food. The idea is we wanted to create demand for organic ingredients. If you talk about reaching 1,000, 2,000 customers a day, we're talking about creating demand for 400, 500 kilos of organic ingredients every day, which is good enough to sustain local farmers. We strongly feel for the organic movement, the logic of organic ingredients, natural farming. And we also strongly believe that there is a need to create demand so that the farmers, because the farmers who are getting into organic farming are also taking a lot of risk in terms of going away with all the comforts of just using pesticides and fertilizers. This actually came out of a study project that I did at IIM Kozhikode. It is called a social development project, which you're supposed to do in the second year of your course. You take up any social cause around Calicut and build a solution around it. We worked with organic farmers in Wayanad, how they're trying to create demand for their produce. We talked about how do we create demand for the produce in Calicut market. And coming back from this, I was always a health freak, health, sports and everything. So I thought there is a need for healthy food for corporates, because the lifestyles are really bad, and there's a need to promote organic ingredients. And why don't we combine? So that is the basis of the idea, and I think we are seeing a lot of good things coming out of it. Because right now, for example, we are supplying to a preschool. What better than supplying good food to 1.5, 3-year kids? There are some patients who are recuperating from near-death experiences. They are looking for organic food recipes. We need to build solutions. We are working on that direction, and I think hopefully in the next 1 year we come out with something really nice. It's been 3.5 years since I opened my first counter. Entrepreneurship, the taste it develops from the confidence that you build over time. Things I've been doing all my life, during my engineering or during my MBA. I've always had the confidence to try something different. Try to be different and at least try and do justice to ideas that you get. I was I never stuck on to some comforts of life and everything, which made me ready for taking up entrepreneurship. Talking about background, for me, the basic philosophy for me is we think if we belong into the top 1-2% of the student community in India, if you cannot, with all your qualifications, if you don't try to give shape to your ideas, then who will do it? You're talking about entrepreneurship taking a new shape in the last 10-15 years. I think that's got more to do with the Indian economy, how well it's doing. Nowadays people are a little more confident because they know, if you try a couple of things, spend 3-4 years in it, it's not like before where there's no value to that 3-4 years. Every experience that you go through in the 3-4 years will only add to your learning, and which is valued in the society now. maybe you get a private equity job after that. So people are not afraid to try things nowadays. So there's a sure shift in people ready to risk, give away their green cards and stuff. I've seen a lot of examples. Um, very comfortable jobs giving up, and people have started organic dairy. Someone from Intel coming down and opening up an organic dairy day in day out, working with cows in a farm. So people are ready to try different things. I think at some level, at least the people I've seen, one is India is a huge opportunity just because of the number of the market that is there. Any idea can, if it is successful somewhere, it can sprout in various parts of it. You can scale it up really fast. And apart from that, there are a lot of people who are ready to come back and try and do something and give back to the society. I've seen a lot of examples, and I'm sure this is going to only increase. I think that is there, surely there. You come from a middle class family, and Indian society, I think, except for a couple of communities which are, it's there in their blood to try things. Unless you come from a business family where people get educated just so that they can come back and join a business. If you come from a middle class family, there is going to be resentment. Like you said, coming back from Olam, they always feel working a couple of years, 4-5 years in Olam would actually allow you to settle down, take risks. Then there was a huge resistance to my idea. Yeah, I had to convince my parents. I couldn't convince them, but I still came back. And I was very confident that I'll come back, prove myself successful, and then convince them. Family, if you talk about society, I think after some level you just cannot spend too much time trying to convince them. I think you can convince them only through your success. I feel like I was saying, if you, with all your qualifications and the energy, if you cannot try it now, you will only feel bad when you are 50, 60. You said I had all these ideas, but I couldn't do anything about it. This is one reason that I feel, if you have things in your mind, good ideas, you will have to implement. Yes, think about the resources that you can muster. Yeah, think about the risks you can take. Think about the things that you can give out. The comforts that you might have to give away for the 4-5 years into entrepreneurship. But yes, once you are ready, I think you should give it a shot. Because otherwise, that is the only way any society has gone forward. Why is USA so successful? The universities there, are so energetic. There's so much research happening. So people come in. There are a lot of people who are coming out with ideas. And there's a very good network of angel investors, venture capitalists who are ready to fund you. That is why US is one of the most successful economies in the world. And I think there is a chance for that to happen in India, because the market is much more widespread. The numbers, just any good idea will just be successful. The whole idea of starting something of my own came, I think it had its base in when I was doing my MBA. MBA gives you that brilliant experience of, I think, the whole 2 years experience gives you a lot of confidence, because you end up meeting a lot of brilliant people, and for you to talk to brilliant professors that you have, it gives you certain confidence. So we used to discuss a lot of ideas all through second year. My friends used to say, if you can give shape to at least one of your ideas, you will be a good entrepreneur. So it was there then. And the job I was working for Olam International, taking care of the coffee operations in Vietnam, part of the coffee operations. Olam, luckily, is brilliantly entrepreneurial. I think I couldn't have got into a better company. I still respect the company. I think I cannot imagine myself anywhere else if I didn't get into starting Organic Express. So it gave me a lot of opportunity to implement on my ideas. I was my proposal of setting up a coffee factory, which was the outcome of a 4-5 week study, in a new province. was approved within a couple of days, where the proposal went to the topmost guy in the coffee hierarchy, who is the third senior most guy in Olam. The proposal was given, and they asked me to set up the factory. Entrepreneurial, you recruit people, you take care of procurement plans, the whole thing. So they gave me that experience. And riding on that confidence, I thought, this is the right time. I have to do something of my own. Before, my idea is, my philosophy is, if you have to go through that tough period, the first 3-4 years of entrepreneurship, you rather do it yourself before you get a burden. So that was one guiding idea. So I came back. I was doing really well at Olam, but I thought this was the right time. I came back without any concrete idea. Was talking to one other friend who also quit. He had his grand ideas, yeah. But what happened is, I wanted to start something small, and actually something that goes with my values. Because when you have this background, once you come back from a company like Olam, there will be a lot of people who are ready to invest in your ideas, or for you to join them to implement their ideas. There are a lot of opportunities. But I thought this has to be my idea. This has to go, fit in with my values, and you will have to have that control. Because otherwise, if it is just about entrepreneurship and money, I could have done that in Olam. Because the day I was quitting, they asked me, if you want to start any product anywhere in the world, just let us know. They asked me if I wanted to start coffee in Mexico. So I had ample, experiences waiting for me in Olam itself. But I think this is something that fit into my values. I thought if I can actually build an organization like this, I would be actually making a difference. Organic food or natural foods. I'll explain what is organic agriculture and natural agriculture. Basically, you're trying to cultivate, if you're talking about vegetables, fruits and staples, you're planning to grow these things without the use of chemical pesticides and fertilizers. Yeah, that is the basic understanding of organic or natural farming. Natural is you don't use anything else. You're just letting nature to take its course. You use natural ingredients which would act as pesticide, repellent. But organic, you also do a lot of vermiculture, yeah, where you use cow dung, okay, which acts as a fertilizer, natural fertilizer. They use bio fertilizers, which there are some nitrogen fixing bacteria that they use. Biofertilizers. There are some biopesticides. So basically, don't use chemical pesticides and fertilizers. Use natural ingredients which are safer. So what happens is, when a plant grows naturally, it develops, because it has to survive naturally, it has to build resistance, which is through antioxidants. Like we have antibodies, right? So we use plants have antioxidants. So it grows, it has higher antioxidants. So the product produced also has higher antioxidants. So once the produce has antioxidants, it's good for you. And the whole cultivation, because there is no control in how much fertilizer or pesticide that a farmer uses, it is not really scientific. Otherwise, what you do is you actually do a soil testing, and then you say, your soil is less in nitrogen by this percent, so use only these many kilos of fertilizer. That's how it should go. But what happens is, farmers, because of all the subsidy they get, they just put as much fertilizer as possible. That is actually affecting the long-term feasibility of the soil. So organic cultivation that way has long-term benefits. It's much more sustainable. Otherwise, if you talk about uncontrolled pesticide and fertilizer usage, over the long term, you'll become dependent on these ingredients. So it's nature-wise also, it's much better. If you're talking about organic meat, you're talking about poultry or dairy products, you are not supposed to use antibiotics, and if you use them, the produce has to be separated till the antibiotic effect is lost, and they don't give growth hormones. Like the biggest problem nowadays with milk is they use something called there's some growth hormone that they use. It's in the form of an injection. It is banned actually in India, and it's just a 1.5 rupee injection, I believe. It increases the yield. There are certain conditions when the animal doesn't want to give milk. You just use one injection and it's like free flowing. They are put in very bad conditions because anything mass produced, you cannot create facilities. Chicken, country chicken or desi that reaches that weight of 1.5 kilo in 6 months. Your poultry should weigh 3 or 4 kilos in 40 days. So everything is artificial, everything is accelerated. Anything accelerated, obviously, it's going to have bad effects on you. So you need to follow all these sustainable, natural, practices for the organic or natural food that you grow. I think the major obstacles is one, I got into food business, right, which I had no experience at all. The first few months, I should say, it just went really well. I recruited a team. We got our first break within 3 months of marketing, sales effort. We reached our break-even numbers in the first 9 months of operations, actually generating cash. Things went really well. But the biggest problems that I faced is people are not really open for ideas. There are manpower issues, huge manpower issues, skilled manpower issues, which I never expected. I was in Vietnam. I used to give examples of how good the Indian degree holders and where people are ready to do any job because employment is not that good. A lot of people churning out, right? But coming back, I thought there's too much churn. There are too many opportunities. Too many companies opening up. They're ready to take. There's a lot of churn. Guys from here jumping to another companies. And especially in a food business where you have to come out with your produce every day. By 11 it has to be ready, it has to be tasty, so it becomes very tough when you're dependent on those guys. So the scale of operations that you plan, I think we didn't plan well enough because we did have extra people in our cooking team, but not good enough numbers where we could ensure that we recruit the right people. You will get that flexibility when you're not dependent on one or two people. So that planning, and the other planning is we just professionalism in people we were talking to or dealing with. We primarily were dealing with MNCs, corporates. I don't think it is good enough. Obviously, they have their own compulsions when they're talking about providing solutions and facilities for 5,000, 4,000 employees. But I still believe there could be a lot of professionalism that can be brought in. Because when we deal with them, you could be upfront when you're talking about something unique. You can be upfront, you can discuss, see if this is a solution and help each other. But that planning, I don't think is there. So when we approached a lot of these corporates and some of them really came out with good ideas and they helped us. But some were empty promises. Some empty promises that didn't affect us, but some empty promises that actually affected our decision making. Because we were a little too trusting when we dealt with these guys. Because that was my background. When we deal with corporates, I thought, educated people could be a little more professional, but we had our share of bad experiences. Food anywhere is a very tough business to get into. Because they say if you're talking about retail business, nothing is better than the location. Location is the single biggest criteria that makes your business successful or not. But if you're talking about corporate, it's the price points. I don't think Indian corporate mentality hasn't reached that level of maturity where they care a little more about their health. There's a definite spending pattern that I've seen in most corporates where the Monday to Thursday they are not in a spending spree. They're very careful with their rupee money that they spend. But Friday to Sunday it's a whole lot different. But there are a lot of people who understand the importance of organic and they stick to us. There is also the problem of variety, where people when they want to get into organic, they'll say they cannot eat the same recipe every day. They'll want variety. So for you to have an operation that works with the constraints of using organic ingredients as much as possible, and also creating rotating menu or bigger menu, and it becomes really tough because you're handling manpower and who are not steady. Actually they keep jumping off it, so it becomes tough because ultimately you cannot expand unless you have a standardized menu, and it cannot be too big. Yes, we have those challenges, but I think we've been able to meet those challenges. One way is we started Gurgaon operations within 9 months of our opening our first counter in Hyderabad. The first decision that we had taken is let Gurgaon grow as it wants to in terms of menu, be it anything. Yeah, you have manpower, you recruited them. Yeah, you have a different scenario in terms of the raw material that is available in terms of organic supplies, vegetables, fruits, or anything. It's a little tougher here. It's a little easy in Gurgaon. So we had taken a conscious decision that at least till we standardize, till we reach that stage or where we want to expand all across, where there is a need for standardization, we thought let's grow separately in terms of menu or maybe some sales channels that we approach, and that really helped us. We have a wide menu that we can work on. If you want to get into retail, I think we have our supply chain ready, and I think we have our product range also ready. So this experience, though a little longer than we anticipated, is right now has put us in a position where we can expand. I think ultimately, like one important feedback that I want to give anyone, someone who's trying to get into entrepreneurship is, you will be forced to give away a lot of things, that sacrifice a lot of things in the first couple of years, unless you are really emotionally attached to the concept and the philosophy of the firm that you're doing. It is very tough. You will be criticized by friends, by family, by relatives, because you gave up a lot of things. Right? You will come across such a scenario. But once you are attached to the concept of building an organization, a solution that you believe in, and the concept, the philosophy that you want to make a difference. As long as this is really strong within you, I think you'll overcome all the criticism that you get. The problem is you start getting self-doubts when things don't go really well. I think that time you need a good guru, a good friend to talk to, a good network, a good entrepreneur to guide you. I think that those supporting networks are building up. But the problem is someone who is working on a creative idea, he's also very afraid to share his ideas with people. So you need to build that support network. The idea is, at least this business, Organic Expo, we strongly believe now, even though we hopefully make it a success. But we believe some solution like this, which can combine good food solution and creating demand for organic ingredients, if this can be built, other basis, and you reach 10,000 people a day or something and create that demand for 500, 600 farmers. We believe that can be a churner or a supporting platform for other ideas to come out, organic ideas. And we think if we can build this, that we are building a very good solution, very good platform for people to take it off. So that is strongly there with us. And we want this to be a success, and we've seen glimpses of this success happening. Say when we meet that one customer, who's ready to do anything to have our food. Some real bad health problems, someone wants to come out of it, and you're giving that real good solution. We put in our effort to give that solution to them. Preschool, I think that was really made me really happy. What better can you do than giving good food to 1.5 to 3 years kids? We think organic food has its best effects on small kids. So these solutions, whenever they come up or the demand comes from the other side itself, it's really motivating for us. There are other places when your ideas don't work. Our basic idea was growing in the corporate segment. corporate segment for its own reasons, when because they're looking at other solutions, solutions that cater to 80% of the population, low budget, full meal and everything. Uh, we get frustrated certain times. But I think the last 1 year after Satyameva Jayate, there's a lot of awareness. A lot of people coming and asking us for solutions. It's been happening quite a lot for the last 6-7 months. Total close to 15 corporates we're working with here and Gurgaon combined. At peak, the peak has always been 15 to 16 counters. We cut down on our some operations in Hyderabad, concentrating on Delhi. Management of resources. But now we are going ahead and opening some really nice kiosks in Hyderabad. See, rules and regulations, you need to go with solutions that are always there. You need to get a certain certificate. I personally experienced it. You need a consultant to get it done. You hire a consultant to get it done. Yeah. And if you're talking about handling this complexity of operations in 15-16 counters, people are doing it. If they are doing it, why can't we do it? Get that structure. Frankly, I think we are going a little slow. Yeah. I'd be really happy in terms of, yes, the customers I reach is one thing, but if I can say that, I created demand for 1,000 acres of organic farmers, I'd be really happy, because I think this is the basis for my other ideas, other sustainable businesses that I want to get in, and hopefully we would want to reach that situation very soon. Yes, we want to reach as many customers as possible. We want to directly and indirectly create that demand for organic through awareness that we build organic products or natural products. But we would want to reach as many farmers as possible, support them. We would want to support the supply from as many farmers as possible. Increase it into 2,000 hectares. And create, the idea is also to create, directly work with farmers also at some stage, and create that oasis of organic cultivation and practices, which I think we will do. There are also other ideas which will get into sustainable business. Other B2B that we have already explored, we just need to expand it. Yes, retail is an opportunity that we are looking at seriously. 10 years down the line, I hope we make a lot of difference. I think Organic Express becomes a synonym of organic foods in India. Yes, I think they can do some brilliant stuff, some goods. I can think of a couple of good solutions. There is a lot of confidence there's a lot of confidence in the common graduate. They see a lot of good things happening in India. I think they are ready to risk, which they were not ready before, maybe 15-20 years back. If you can facilitate, if you can take care of these guys, the initial years that they get into entrepreneurship, create common facilities which they can use when they start up. Give that initial guidance, give that initial support in getting all those permissions and everything. I think they can do brilliant things. You have the brain power in India. You have the market to try things. It's huge, right? Population. You can, like Modi says, you have to make these ideas, and make them functional, institutionalize ideas. Once you can do that, it will be brilliant. I think some things have already come up. There's one facility in Bombay where anyone who wants to start something new can just go and use the space, which also has, you can rent out a small room there, facilities. If a government can run that, give that initial support, obviously you have a criteria and everything, make things easy for people to try their ideas. You will have a lot of guys trying. You just do trial for 1-2 years. The angel network in India is becoming stronger. And if some such places come up, we will have a lot of concentration, a lot of ideas will be discussed. I'm sure good things can be done. Learnings is like I was telling you, my advice, learning would be my advice to new entrepreneurs. Be very sure what you get into. Yeah. Be very sure it fits in with your values. or what drives you is should be very clear. As long as you're motivated by that particular achievement, either making a difference in farming, making a difference in lifestyle in a common man, if that is very clear, that should be good enough. See, future entrepreneurs is you just be very sure as to what is driving you to get into entrepreneurship. As long as you think about it really in big clarity, right? I think that will help you by the next 2-3 years. It will give you the drive. Even without resources, you'll push yourself. Or if it is just about money, then also it will be very clear. During the journey, if you want to check if you're actually on the reaching your milestones, that clarity would help you, because you'll go through a lot of troughs and peaks. It will help you go through them, because you cannot expect everyone to support you all through. There will be a lot of situations where you're just yourself, and you need that self drive to push yourself. You just be clear, and as long you know what's actually driving you, I think you'll get it right. Yes, if you think you're good enough, if you think you can make a difference, I think you should try it.